welcome to Mr. Dyer's Musings. I'm Mr. Dyer. Today is a special episode as we wrap up all the different things that a scout from the 1920s and 1930s would carry on their belt, and as a continuation of last week's video with a scout guard rope, I'm going to give you several suggestions. And as time goes on, I will show you many other uses because there are probably infinite amount of uses that you could think of to use the scout guard rope. Stay with me. As always, I'd like to thank my wife and family on unconditional support. I'd like to thank you guys, my viewers, my subscribers, for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope you like it. If you do like it, please click like. If you're new to the channel and if you like this stuff, then please click subscribe and join us on our journey. Got a ton of historical campcraft and Civil War videos that we've done in the past. In fact, all the different artifacts that you're going to see today has been discussed in previous videos. So feel free to peruse those. And again, consider subscribing. And don't forget to click the bell button so that you're notified when these videos come out. I'd like to thank my patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much. If that's something you're interested in, please check out Patreon and Mr. Dyer's Musings. All right, so first we're going to start off with the belt. If you've been following this channel, we have discussed all these different things. And I laid out all the different items on an original 1920s scout belt. I'm going to start with the pocket knife. Now, a pocket knife would have been on a clip, just like the rope was, but most people carry their pocket knives in their pockets. So it's up to you. Scout knives had the bail, this piece of wire on top, just for that purpose, so it could be attached to a string or like one of the metal clips, and they could be utilized in that way. We also have a scout sharpening stone here in the leather pouch, which is very useful for maintaining the different edge tools. Next on the line is the scout hatchet and knife. Now this is a Kit Carson model, so this has been in the 1930s, possibly later edition, as it has a combination knife and hatchet. However, most scouts would just have the hatchet and maybe a sheath knife or something like that. The nice thing about that is if you don't need the hatchet and you're going on a hike, you can leave that back at camp and you can still have your knife. For the Kit Carson model, you would have to leave your hatchet back at camp unsheathed, which could be dangerous. So either or. In this pouch, what we have is the 1932 version of the first aid kit. Now, in my video about first aid kits, I showed you the different styles of first aid kit and the contents of the first aid kits. In the 1920s, they also had a first aid kit with the cloth pouch. So that's why I use this one instead of the later metal pouch. The metal pouch is really neat, much more durable. Next on the line is your flashlight. And this is the L-shaped flashlight, and it's got the ring on it. It's ever ready. It's got a little belt clip. Nice thing about these flashlights is you can do Morse code. You can signal with it. And last on the clip, we have the scout guard rope, and that's where we move on. I'm going to show you how to use the scout guard rope. So for this video, I'm going to have two scout guard ropes. If you didn't watch last week's video about the scout guard ropes, I explained how this was made, how to coil it. Check that out. It'll be a lot more useful and it'll make a lot more sense than just starting from here. This one is just going to show you the different uses of how to use the scout guard rope. Now, it's also important to remember that scouts operated in patrols. Generally speaking, it was 6 to 8 boys that consisted of a patrol. So a lot of scout skills really focused on a teamwork setting. So the scout guard ropes had 15 foot of usable rope, but in a patrol, you could connect these ropes together and you can make them much longer. And this really promoted leadership, teamwork, atmosphere. To deploy the scout guard rope, you would unclip the rope from the ring. And the center rope, which is the ring end, you would pull out. Like so. That frees up the rope and the clip. The nice thing about having the ring the size that's larger than your clip is you reach around a tree, you can take your clip, you can put it through the ring, and you feed it through. And now you have a useful line. Now, some things you can do, a lot of scouts training focus on rescue and first aid. So if you need to reach somebody, you would anchor yourself, and you can use this rope to reach out to someone and help them as needed. Another thing you can do with the Scout Guard rope you can join them together quickly and use them in very versatile ways. So what I did here for this example is I used the two clips and clipped them onto the rope on each end, right above where the ferrules are. And if you measured correctly, the ferrules or the whipping, like I did in the last video, they should be about the same length. So then, now you have 30 foot of rope that you can stretch out. Once you stretch it out around the tree or other item that you're going to anchor your rope, you can put your rope through the eyelet. You can pull out the slack until you get close enough to put a toggle in, and then with the toggle, you're able to anchor it. And now you have something that you could use as a clothesline, or you could use it for a ridge line or something like that. All you have to do is pull on the right, pull out your toggle, and you can quickly remove it. Speaking of shelter, so another thing you can do, since this already has a ring on it, you can take your clip, wrap it around your anchor point, clip it like so that it bites the rope, and then you can take your ring, stretch it out, you can stretch it out and use a stake to stick that into the ground and hold it, and then you can build your shelter over this rope. But you can also connect the rings by connecting like that. You can feed it around, connect it like so. You also have the option of feeding one of the clips, so then the ring itself is going to be the stop. So now you have something that you can either tie something else off of and go into a V direct or a Y direction, or you can use this to hang something on. So as you can tell, I'm losing daylight. It's the end of the day and there's just not enough hours in the day to make much progress. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video there, and as time moves on, I'm going to show you practical applications for this beyond just ideas that I have for this. But here's the kicker. The one thing that was advertised in all the catalogs for the Scouts to use this for was for helping to control parades. You would have Scouts that's lined up, and they would connect these ropes, and they would hold the ropes to make sure that people didn't cross the line during parades for guard duty. I thought that was kind of interesting, but out in the field, there are so many more applications, especially with a patrol. The more rope that you have, the more things you can do with it. So I'm pretty excited about this tool, and if you have any ideas or any thoughts, let me know. There's tons of them out there. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please check out the prior videos of all the different things that we discussed this summer alone with all the things that were on the Scout belt. The Scout walked around pretty much looking like Batman. I don't think it really happened that often, but a lot of things were marketed for that utility belt. Please give it a like if you liked it. Please consider subscribing if you haven't done so. Don't forget to check the bell button. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Give a kiss and hug to your loved ones, and take care. I'll see you next Sunday.